This is beyond shocking. I am so surprised right now. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about the Lincoln Project admitting to staging the Tiki torch incident out there in front of Glenn Youngkin's tour bus in Charlottesville, Virginia. Now, the Lincoln Project's been kind of quiet over the past year or so. I guess after they got rid of their co-founder, John Weaver, when he got caught harassing all them boys and men online, they've gotten back into action, but that's a different story. And for now, I digress. There's pictures of a Tiki torch incident, and I'll place those on the screen before you. Now, what you're seeing is their attempt to shine light or to make you remember the Unite the Right rally that happened in 2017, back when Heather Heyer died or whatever. They want you to remember that because it happened in Charlottesville, and it was a terrible thing, et cetera, et cetera. They don't want you to forget. Now, right away, when this happened, there was no information out there about who was behind it, why they're doing it, or what. But anybody with a handful of brain cells could see this whole thing was fake. I did a short video on that, and I'm glad you guys enjoyed it if you watched it. But right away, without knowing who did it or what, I was like, okay, come on, this is fake. You got these guys out here in the pouring rain. They have sunglasses on. It's no sun. There's no umbrella, no hoodie, no jacket, no coat. They're soaking wet. Why would you be out there just getting completely drenched like that? For what reason? And then they want to talk about white supremacists, this, white supremacists, that. Trump didn't denounce it. Glenn Youngkin didn't denounce it, which is all false, by the way. But they're talking about white supremacists, yet they have this diverse cast. You couldn't even get 5 white guys that look kind of somewhat like they would fit. You got a young lady out there and you got a black guy out there. So you got to have a culturally diverse cast to stage this stunt. It was so obviously fake from the very beginning. It wasn't even funny. Now, before I go any further in it, let's back up a little bit to explain what's going on here a little bit further so you have proper context and so we're on the same page. Now, most people know there's a very big governor's race happening in Virginia right now between Terry McAuliffe, the Democrat, and Glenn Youngkin, the Republican. A lot of these groups like Lincoln Project, and by the way, Lincoln Project claiming to be so-called anti-Trump Republicans who stand for true conservative Republican values, but they don't. They're just Democrats masquerading as Republicans to try and get Republicans that may not like Trump to flip to their side. Right? Because Glenn Youngkin is Glenn Youngkin. I mean, how was he necessarily even linked to Trump aside from being a Republican and being in Virginia where the rally happened? I mean, why try to make Glenn Youngkin be this controversial figure? He's not. Okay, I'm a Trump supporter, but I know Trump is controversial. Youngkin isn't. I'll tell you who is controversial in Virginia. Ralph Northam with the blackface. And by the way, Ralph Northam was Terry McAuliffe's lieutenant governor when McAuliffe was governor first before Northam. If that makes any sense. In Virginia, you can't run back-to-back gubernatorial campaigns. So there must be a break. You can't be the governor back-to-back, basically. So there's got to be a break. Before Northam became the governor, it was McAuliffe. Now McAuliffe is back. So if there's controversy, it's McAuliffe and Northam, not with Glenn Youngkin. So why would the Lincoln Project try to say anything other than that? It's because they're Democrats and they want to support a Democratic person to become the governor. Very simple. It ain't really too much more to it. But the race is very important because if Youngkin is able to win, that is humongous because Virginia, you know, I'm from Virginia. If you guys don't know, I'm from Virginia. And as a kid, I saw Virginia become progressively more blue. You know, I wasn't really in politics like that as a youngin', but I would kind of watch presidential election, and I would notice every 4 years how it was solidly red, and then it started to become more purple. And as I became older in my adulthood, it was blue all the time because of Northern Virginia. Okay, that's the real area where a lot of this stuff is happening. So if Youngkin is able to win as a Republican in solid blue Virginia, that's going to be a predictor of the races coming up next year in 2022 all over the nation. And also 2024, when you're talking about the federal election, not federal election, but the national election. You understand what I mean? The presidential election. That's going to be very big for those elections. Humongous. The way it is right now, the Democrats control the House, Senate, White House. That all could flip a whole different direction come 2024, starting right now, 2021. So it's very big. Now, Northern Virginia is where all this stuff is happening. That's where all the politics happen. That's why you're able to flip the race. And I think a big reason why this race may flip is because of the critical race theory stuff happening right in Northern Virginia. That's the ground zero for the fight against CRT. In a Lincoln Project statement admitting fault to this, claiming responsibility for this, they instantly said critical race theory, like in the first line of their thing. Now, I'm not sure how you're going to link critical race theory to the Tiki Torch guys, but somehow they were able to do it. Critical race theory in Northern Virginia are very important. And also this whole thing about claiming responsibility from Lincoln Project. I've heard that there's going to be, there could be an ISIS attack in Northern Virginia.
Police in Northern Virginia, just outside Washington, D.C., are on a heightened state of alert. A new law enforcement warning of a potential threat against malls and shopping centers.
Now, what are the odds of that happening? You have this fake thing, I guess you would call it a hate hoax, essentially from the Lincoln Project. They claim responsibility for that. Could there be a terror hoax in Northern Virginia and ISIS says that they did it? And it's really weird because right when the whole Lincoln Project news broke, in my mind, I'm thinking it's kind of like ISIS, how something happens, like let's say a hospital gets attacked and then ISIS says, oh, we did that. It's the same thing going on here. You got these fake white supremacists, Tiki Torch guys, in the pouring rain with sunglasses on with no sun. Lincoln Project says, oh, we did that. We claim responsibility. It's the same type of thing going on. All these hoaxes, all these attacks could be done by anybody, but you have the usual suspects claim responsibility. Understand this. There's probably coordination between the Lincoln Project and the McAuliffe campaign or the Democrats in Virginia, because some people that were out there as a fake white supremacists had allegedly been identified as Democrat operatives. I think Vice News said one of them was a low-level Democratic operative. So, I mean, you don't just get that kind of assistance from the Democrats without coordinating with the Democrats. It ain't like Lincoln Project on their own just said, okay, we're going to do this. And no. There was most likely, probably, some coordination between Lincoln Project and the Democratic Party in Virginia. And there could be a terror attack right there in Northern Virginia, close to the election time, right around then. Would that not affect the election? I think it all comes from the D.C. swamp. Understand that D.C. is right there. Northern Virginia, that's basically D.C. suburb. So I wouldn't put anything past them to try and have this election go their way, to have Youngkin not become the next governor. Because like I said, that's going to spell doom for the Democratic Party coming up here. Okay, it'd be inspirational. Oh, you're able to take Virginia and flip that red? Okay, let's flip all these other states red that might not be red, or some of the more battleground states, some of the more purpley states, let's make them solidly red. Okay, critical race theory, things like that are going to be ways you're able to get in there, because a lot of people, a lot of regular normies, as I close, a lot of regular normies don't really know about politics like that. They don't really understand what's happening. But when you put an issue in front of them like that, saying, hey, your kids are being taught all this weird stuff in school. Do you like that? Do you appreciate that? You're going to a school board meeting expressing yourself and they're sicking the federales on you. Do you like that? No? Okay, well, don't vote for the guy that goes out there and says, like Terry McAuliffe said, oh, don't worry about your kids. We'll take care of it. You don't have any say in what your kids learn. Don't vote for that guy. Vote for the guy who says that we care what you think as a parent, We don't want to teach your kids any kind of weird stuff. We want your kids to come to school and be in a safe environment and not be assaulted and not have these politicians come on TV and say that your claims are ridiculous and just keep your mouth shut. I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? How do you feel about the Lincoln Project admitting that they staged this hate hoax? I guess you would call it that. Whatever your thoughts are on that, let me know in the comments below. How do you feel about this election coming up in Virginia? Who's going to win? Is it going to be Youngkin? Is it going to be Terry McAuliffe? I saw that there was like an 8-point lead in favor of Glenn Youngkin, and I believe it. But we'll see come election day. Of course, there could be any funny stuff happening. That's with any election, but I think that Youngkin has a chance. And when Youngkin wins, that's going to be a tremendous victory for all of us. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.